Grand Rising family, Grand Rising. This is Chief Kalanago with another video, family. You know, it's all about positive energy. You know, it's about vibrating high. It's about coming to you and giving you some information to uplift the masses, open up your mind, free your mind. In other words, I want to give you information where you could get back control of your mind. I'm giving you information to get back control of your most precious jewel, which is your thought. I did a video about protecting your thought, protecting your mind, and I'm just gonna just touch on that quickly before I get into the gist of this video. To paraphrase the information in the video was that I gave a few scenarios, and one of the scenarios were if you have your house and you have your land and you have a gold mine in the back of your house, you have a silver mine, you have a coal mine, or you have an oil mine. How much research and ammunition would you have, or would you put into or invest in to protect your mind? I'm certainly sure you would spend money to buy guns, to buy grenades, to buy whatever you have to protect your gold mine in the back of your house from invaders. Because you have the right to protect your property. You would do that, wouldn't you? So my question to you is this. Why don't we spend the same amount of time or energy or resources into protecting our number one asset, which is your thought, which is sitting on your mind? You see, you came into this world with the greatest mind of all, the one that possesses the most precious jewel that any body has, which is their thought. It's your thought. Because you see, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word is everything. But what comes before words? There cannot be words without thoughts. Thoughts are unspoken words. So therefore, if in the beginning was the Word, therefore the thought came before the Word. So the thought is the creator of the Word. So yes, the thought is the creator of everything. Everything. There is nothing in creation, whether it may be spiritual or physical, that didn't come from a thought. So that is the most precious jewel that you would ever possess. And where is your thought seated at? It's seated in your mind, on your mind. But every single person is living their lives based on someone else's thought. Whether it may be written or whether it may have been told, your belief and your ideology is based on someone else's thought, somebody who came before you. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you are supposed to use that information and think for yourself. I did a video yesterday, not a video, a post. And within that post, I see, and a lot of people got engaged. Now, I did that purposely, because again, I was asking the higher self to guide me, just to get some information out there. I didn't know what direction to go in, but something came to me, and the post, I'm gonna paraphrase the post, and it said it went a little something like this: the Moors are not the original people of the Americas, and that is a fact. Israelites are not the original people of the Americas. I also said that Christianity, Judaism, Islam are not original to the American continent. All those things and people and beliefs and concepts, they were brought here. Moors came here and mixed with my ancestors. I'm not going to say Israelites are not real. I don't want to disrespect anybody's religion or belief. But however, it is not original to the Americas. And that concept or that set of people, they came here and mixed with my people. Okay? We didn't have anything called 12 tribes here. No, these people came here and mixed with our people. Even in their book, it said that they would go to a foreign land. So it's no disrespect to anybody. I'm just saying that we on the American continent, we are a different people. We had our own culture. We had our own spirituality. We had our own inhabitants. Now, people got on the post and people started giving information and doing research and dropping information, which I appreciated. But one thing that I really don't like, it's when you give your opinion or you post information or you do a video and people don't agree with you. They create animosity. They start calling you all kind of names. As a matter of fact, it creates enemies by your own post, by your own opinion. Now, why is that? Why can't we have a conversation without cursing each other out? Why can't we have a conversation without creating this form of animosity? Just because you could go somewhere and pull up some research doesn't mean it's true. All it means is that you are telling me somebody's opinion or somebody else's thought, which of course could be opinions or it may be fact based on information that they find. But who's to say that the information they found wasn't fabricated? I'm not saying that it is. But all I'm just saying is use your most important and your most precious jewel that the universal creator gave you, which is your thought. And again, I stand by my own belief that every single religion came from man. It is man-made. Every single concept of a deity that man gave you, it came from them. And whether they say it may have been inspired by God, first of all, I don't use the word God. And again, I've done videos on why. I have used it in the past, but like I said, I will contradict myself because every day I am growing. I am evolving. The word God means to evoke. It is not a noun, so it cannot be the name of anything. It's an action word. So therefore, when you say God, my question to you is, what are you evoking or who are you evoking? Go look at the etymology of the word, not what they took it to mean. There's a difference. Look at the root of the word. Even before the word God got into our lands, we had different concepts of what the universal creator was. We had different terminologies. And when the English language was forced upon my people, or our people rather, one of the concepts that we thought was the best to describe what we paid homage to was the Great Spirit. We paid homage to the Great Spirit, as a matter of fact, which is more suited for the universal creator than the word God, because the word God is an action word. So the term Great Spirit, even before they contaminated their scriptures, they had Great Spirit in it. And then Rome or the Greeks or the Romans, whatever you call them, changed that and they used the word God. But we're not gonna make that the basis of the topic in this video today. I'm just going through a few things that I spoke about. So I want you to know that you have the most important jewel that anybody could possess. It's your thought. And your thought is in your mind. So why not protect your mind? Just like I said before, if you have a gold mine in the back of your house, if you have a diamond mine in the back of your house, if you have a coal mine in the back of your house, if you have an oil mine in the back of your house, how much money and research or even ammunition would you invest into protect your mines? But yet still, the number one mind that you possess, it's priceless. It's here. And what's contained in that mind is your thought, the most precious jewel that you ever possess. How is that you allow people to control it for free? When you go to Facebook asks you, what's on your mind. They are literally telling you, give me your the most precious jewel that you have. Give it to me for free. And you give it freely. Because when they tell you what's on your mind, you start typing. You start typing. So literally, Facebook is getting your jewels for free. And what they do, they take in that and they turn it into money for them. But you give it to them every single day for free. Every single day, what's on your mind. In other words, give me your jewels, give me your thoughts. Let me make money off of your thoughts, off of your mind. But you don't care though. You have to protect your thoughts. Protect your mind. So here is my own proof. Because you see, I think. I use what the Creator gave me. I came here fully loaded. All I needed was just some guidance, not parents. You see, there's a difference. To me, and again, this is just my opinion. To me, the word parents or parenting came from the slave masters. To me, it's coming from a totalitarian perspective of, if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to whoop your ass. That's parenting. That came from the slave masters. But to be a guardian is something completely different. You see, I don't need a parent, but I need a guardian because, I came here with all the faculties that the Creator gave me. All I just needed was just somebody to guide me. You see, don't give me your ideologies, but just guide me, help me develop what I came here with. Now, you see the difference between parenting and being a guardian? That's why in their book it says, once a man and twice a child. This is why it says that it is easier for a child to get into the kingdom of heaven than for a man. You know why? Because they know that man is contaminated. You see, children are the most connected to the Creator. Because it's like a brand new vehicle that comes from its manufacturer fully loaded. Now, if you have a car that you got from the dealer, okay, fully loaded, the manufacturer, as soon as you take it out of the manufacturer, what happens? It depreciates. And even more so, you go home, you cut the hood of the car, and you turn it into what? Now a convertible. Is it the same car? No, it's not. That's why a lot of you are converted. Now, if you have that car, same thing like a baby. It's brand new. It came out of it's in the womb. Okay? Fully loaded with all the faculties of the Creator, still connected to the Most High. Once that baby comes out of that portal, this is the first stage of depreciation. The first stage of depreciation, because now you have parents who are ready to tell that child that came fully loaded with all the faculties from the Most High, the Creator, that don't do this. You're not supposed to do that. This is not the way. If you do this, I'm going to whoop your ass. So you go back and think for a second. Everything that you're practicing and you know right now, it came through people who learned it through people. How do you know it's factual? How do you know that's how you're supposed to live your life? Did you even get a chance to develop what you came here with without them imposing their beliefs and their ideas on you? So you see, I'm going to take you back to a place where I want you to use your mind. Use your own thoughts for a second. And I'm going to prove to you that all these things are man-made. All the religions, all the deities that they gave you, all that stuff is man-made. Now let's look at the word religion here for a second. You have the prefix re in front of the word religion. Anytime you add the prefix re in front of any word, it means to do it again. If I wrote a book and I tell you to rewrite my book, that means it was already written. If I tell you to reverse my car, that means it was already driven forward. So now you have to do it again. Reverse. Go back. If I built a house and somebody broke it down and I said, here you go, do me a favor, rebuild my house, it means that there was a house before. So if you are practicing religion, your question should be, what was there before I had to redo it? Family, all I'm just asking you is to think for a second. Think for a second. And I'm not going to do videos on this again. I'll just have to share this over and over again because to me it's taking up too much energy. But I was summoned to do this with the information that I was given. Now, I spoke about the conversion. You cannot convert anything that wasn't already existing. So therefore, if you have been converted, that means whatever you were, you are not anymore. Now, let's go back even further because I want you to think. And people always want to go for, to research things. So I'm going to give you the own research that you might go look for or research that you may not even think of. So let's go back to, maybe 150 to 300,000 years ago. Now, it was said that the first few sets of humans were the Homo erectus. Maybe they had some before that, I don't know, but I'm going to go that far. The Homo erectus, and then you went to the Homo sapien, whatever that is. The homos, all the homos, right now they have homosexuals. I'm not trying to be funny. But the point I'm trying to make is, let's go back to the Homo erectus. Now, people didn't always speak physically. Okay? People weren't able to articulate words the way we do it right now. Of course, English is a new language. So let's go back even before English came into play. People didn't speak. As a matter of fact, based on the research that they gave, people spoke telepathically. Just like how babies communicate telepathically. And when people started to speak, who was the first teacher? The first teacher was nature. Mother Nature was the first teacher. You see, Mother Nature don't care about religion. Mother Nature is not a Christian. It doesn't practice Islam. It doesn't practice Judaism. It doesn't practice Hinduism. It doesn't practice none of that. Mother Nature don't practice that. As a matter of fact, Mother Nature don't even practice spirituality. Mother Nature is just is. It is existence. Right? So Mother Nature is the first teacher. So nobody could dispute that. And I'm talking about the first manifested teacher. I want to be politically correct here. So in Mother Nature, when man manifested itself or themselves here, man didn't speak orally. They spoke telepathically. And even when they started speaking, because they were trying to hold on to that way of communicating, which is telepathically, when they started depreciating, okay? When they started depreciating, they were trying to hold on to that communication, and the closest they could have, they went or they adopted was a tick sound, which is, if you look at the Gods Must Be Crazy, you would see an example of that. So that was their way of still trying to communicate when they were losing the ability of telepathy. And that was one of the first sounds, the click sound, form of communication. As a matter of fact, you could go as far back even when they used to whistle, because they learned from nature. That was a form of communication. So we're going back at that time. So there was no words to call anything. There was no religion. You see, man looked at the universe. What's in the universe? What's in Mother Nature? And that's what they paid homage to. And that's how they learned. Same thing like a baby. A baby came from nature. The mother and the father. That is another form of nature. And when the baby comes out, the baby can't talk. The baby can't talk. And the baby had to learn to talk. The baby had to learn its ways from whom? From what came before it. What came before it was the mother and the father. Now, if that mother and father, their concepts and the ideas came from man, who have contaminated the teachings of the first teacher, which is nature, what do you think is going to happen? You as the child, your information is going to be contaminated as well. So let's go back to nature here for a second. Nature taught us everything. Every single thing that we know. And man started to learn and develop. And because of greed, because of separation, okay, because of, man feel the need to possess things. Man started developing all these different concepts and ideas to separate people and control their minds. So now today you're in a state of religion, which is literally renatured, because you had nature before the first teacher. So you have been renatured. That's why we have lost. Okay, we have lost ourselves, not me though. You see, I'm finding my way back. So again, going back as far as the Homo erectus, even before man could articulate words, they communicated through thoughts, through actions, through their bodies, through pointing. You see, like what you would call a dummy today, no disrespect. That's what man used to do. So are they really dummies? No, they are not. Because that was a form of communication before man could articulate words. So now you had the tic-tac sound. Even before man could utter any real verbal words. Because they learned from nature. Nature brought man here as a brand new baby into a world they had never been before. And they had to learn their way. But they had to learn their way through their first parents, which was mother nature and father son. It's the same thing with a baby. Mother nature wasn't parenting us. They were just guiding us. The sun wasn't parenting us. It was just guiding us. That's what our parents supposed to do. Guide us. Not inflict the man's doctrines on us or their ideas on us. They're supposed to help us, guide us through what we already have, help us develop it, not take it away from us and tell us, don't do this, what you're doing is wrong. No. Allow us to be, but guide us. You see, let what we already have in us develop. That's why you are indoctrinated. That's why I could prove to you that every religion is man-made. So there is no such thing, or there was never such thing as no Israelite. There was no such thing as Hinduism. There was no such thing as Judaism. There was no such thing as a Moor. As a matter of fact, there was no such thing as a human, because hue means color. So I'm not saying that what we have learned we can't use. But when it comes to a point where what you have learned is enslaving your people, what you have learned is destroying your people, what you have learned have brainwashed your people, what you have learned has allowed your people to take away their inner being. Okay, what you have learned have allowed our people to take away what's inside of them and discard it, just to look for things outside of them, to give their power to things that's outside of them, to take their energy and harness their energy and give it to other people so that they could strive. That's when it becomes a problem. Because if you look around you, all the gods and the deities that our people serve, it is not benefiting them as a whole. All these religions, it's not benefiting our people on a whole. Because their energy is being harnessed to use against them. So I have to go back to present some real facts. Let's go back to nature, the first teacher. Yes, Mother Nature and Father Son. Let's go back to them for a second. Use your own mind to think, family. Think. Again, it's easier for a baby to get into heaven than a grown-ass man or woman. Because that man or woman is indoctrinated. They have been converted. They have been perverted. Because the first teacher didn't have any religion. The first teacher didn't give you any concept of any deity. No. Everything in nature you looked at as you honored it. You honored the water. You honored the air that you breathe. You honored the trees. You honored the sun. You honored everything. You had appreciation for everything. They have given you the wrong concept of worship. Again, go back to a brand new baby. The mother and father is nature. You are responsible for guiding that baby, not indoctrinating the baby. The same thing that Mother Nature and Father Son did to us when we first came here. Gave us everything, the teachers around us, the birds, the bees, the plants, everything. They were our teachers to guide us. They allowed us to make our own mistakes. They allowed us to make sense out of everything. They just provided the environment for us. That's what Mother Nature and Father Son did for us. But men developed, yes, the ability to speak, and they realized everything came from nature. They realized that, you know what? Nature is what it is. The universe is what it is. So they took those concepts and the way of life from different individuals and created what you have today. And people, how did tribes come about? Tribes came about because certain people had certain characteristics. Certain people gravitated to others more than they did to different sets of people. And they formed their own little clans. They formed their own little tribes. No damn so-called God came from heaven and said, this is my 12 tribes, my chosen one. No, that never happened. There is no way you could prove that to me. And don't give me a book telling me this is what. No, even before there was a Bible, you had nature. The Bible is new compared to the existence of man in this physical world. Because they are just ideas that came from people who looked at nature to make sense out of what nature taught them. No, God didn't come down and change nobody's name from Jacob to Israel. It didn't happen. Man decided to do that when they wanted to claim land and claim who's special and who's not. Mother Nature have no special children. It's like you, a mother and a father, you have 20 children and you decide to say, you know what, these 5 right here, I'm going to call them Israel because I love them the most. What kind of parent are you? So think about it. Why would Mother Nature make her children and say, you know, I'm going to pick these 12 tribes here and make them special from the rest? What kind of biased parents do you think you have? So all I'm just asking you is to use what you came here with. The sense that you were born with. Okay? The greatest jewel that you were born with is your thought. Use it. Think for a second. So when we start talking about, well, this is right and this is wrong. No, it's not right or wrong. Let's go back to nature. Let's go back to the first teacher. That's why they took it away from you and they have you living in concrete jungles. Because they wanted to disconnect you from your first mother. Why do you think they're putting chemtrails in the air? Because they want to disconnect you from the first father, your first parents. So yes, you people are indoctrinated. You have been converted. You have been renatured, and they call it religion. So a lot of you could dispute this if you want to. It's okay. I'm still going to respect your opinion. I'm still going to respect your opinion. Because like I said, if you want to go back to Homo erectus, if you really want to do some research, let's go back. So let's go back to the time where man couldn't even write. In fact, man couldn't even speak. So where did the Bible come from? There was no Bible in them times. So what religion was being practiced then? What form of spirituality was being practiced then? None. People just admire what was in nature. That's how they learned, through the mother and father astrology, father of time. That's how they learned. That was their religion. In fact, not religion. Well, anything could be a religion, but that's what they worshipped. That's what they looked up to. That's what they honored. That is what worshiping means, to honor, to put on a pedestal. It was nature. It was astrology. So when y'all get into your arguments and your debates and, you is the tribe of this and you is the tribe of that, and the black man is this and the black woman is that, and that, all that stuff is a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap, because nature don't care about that. Nature don't care about that. Nature don't care what color you are. Nature don't care if you're an Israelite, a Buddha, a Muslim, an atheist. It don't care about none of that. Because at the ending of the day, if you don't do, it all depends on the content of your thoughts, your heart. If you don't do what's in synergy with nature, nature will find a way to destroy you. Because it already has its laws. The universe has its laws. And the concept of what you call God is really the universe. The all. Literally, that's what it is. So the all don't care about what you people care about. The all is just is. And it has its laws. And if you do anything that's contrary to its laws, it will destroy you. It is a free will universe. As a matter of fact, it gave you the opportunity to create your own karma, to create your own hell. There is no thing as there is a man waiting to put people in hell. No, you create your own hell based on your own actions. You create your own karma. That is the universe, a free will universe. You do good, good will happen to you. You do bad, bad will happen to you. It's the intent, the content of your heart. Guard your own thoughts. Don't allow people to indoctrinate you. So here I just debunked every single religion. Every single one of them. I just debunked every single deity that they gave you. Because the first set of humans didn't know that. They couldn't speak. They couldn't write. Huh? So where did the Bible come from? The Bible was inspired by man. The Bible was inspired by God. So how come the people that were there before, they didn't have a Bible? What? They didn't have no inspiration from God? I guarantee you they were more connected to the Creator than you are right now. Because your entire life, your entire foundation is based on what a man gave you. A book a man gave you and told you that it's your foundation. That your salvation depends on what's in that book and what's not, and not what's in nature. That is how they got you. So let it go. Let it go. Because it is destroying you. It has taken your most important jewel, your thought, and they're controlling it. So I just proved it to you that every religion is man-made. Every deity is man-made. Let's go back to the first teacher, Mother Nature. Let's go back to the first father, the sun, astrology. That's what the universe gave us, which is what you call your concept of God. And again, God is not a noun, it's an action word. So when you say God, what are you evoking? Family, it's time to let it go. Now, don't get me wrong. You could have your beliefs, but if it's destroying your people, if it's brainwashing your people, if it's damaging your people, then it is a problem. And religion has damaged and is still damaging our people. It was given to you by the oppressors. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video. You could bring as much research as you want. You could disagree as much as you want. You could agree as much as you want. The video still stands and it holds its own. Because I went back before you had a Bible. Even the concept of fact, even before man could speak or even write, I went back to that. Took you back to the concept of being a baby. That's why in their book it told you again, is it easier for a baby to get into heaven than a man? Because they know what they did to the man's mind. They know what they did to his thought. They have contaminated and perverted his mind. So let's take you back to being a baby. Let's take you back to being what? The first manifestation of a child into this world, a baby. And let's take that whole concept and bring it back into the first mother and father. The first time we came here as babies and we couldn't talk. We couldn't do anything on our own, but we had to learn from who? The first mother and father. Mother Nature and astrology, the heavenly bodies. Those were the first parents. Okay? And they didn't impose laws on us. They didn't tell us don't do this and don't do that. No. What happened? When we did things, we made our mistakes and we learned from them. Look at animals. If we as human beings, we're supposed to be the most intelligent, why aren't we? Are we really the most intelligent? Look at animals. Look at a baby tiger, a baby lion. If a baby tiger falls or it does something that it's not supposed to, what does the mother do? The mother go and just pick it up. It guides it. You don't see the mother take a whip and smack it in its head. Don't do this. I told you, don't do that. This is not that. No. They guide them. They allow them to make their mistakes and they pick them up. They don't have parents. They have guardians, which we are literally supposed to be to our children. We are supposed to guide them, not parent them. Because when you parent them, you are teaching them other people's ideologies that you were taught. You are crippling your children from developing their own potential, from being the greatest them they could be. You are making them you. That's why you want your children to be doctors. Oh, when you grow up, I want you to be a doctor, be a lawyer. No, that's what you want. That's not what they want. And then you ask them, oh, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be, let's just say your child say, you know what? I want to be a garbage man. Oh, no, I don't want you to be a garbage man. No, that's what they want to be. Allow them to be what they want to be. They already came here fully loaded. As a matter of fact, they have more intelligence than you. They are more connected to the divine, the all than you are. Allow them to develop who they are. Don't impose your beliefs on them that was taught to you by man. That's why I'm gonna have some more children and do it the way it's supposed to be done. Guide them. Allow them to be who they came here to be. Teach them through the concept of nature. I don't want them to be renatured or religioned. I want them to be who they want to be, who they were meant to be. It's time to wake up, family. And you could dispute this as much as you want. It's okay. I'm still going to respect your opinion. Because at the end of the day, it's your opinion. And this is my opinion based on how I see things in the universe, in Mother Nature, with the first father, the heavenly bodies. But man took that away from you. They indoctrinated you. They converted you. They gave you re-nature, which is religion. And they took your first teacher away from you. And they gave you something else to look forward to that's destroying our people today. So, once again, this is Chief Kalanago with another video. Because you see, I like to explain things so that a child could get it. So I have a message to all our children out there, all our teenagers. Let go religion. I know your parents, I've been there. I was forced to go to church. If I didn't go to church, I got my ass whooped. At the age of 5, I knew there was something wrong with sitting in a building and listening to a man tell me what's right and what's wrong, and telling me there was something outside of me to worship except for nature, the first teacher. They didn't teach me that, but I got my ass whooped. I knew there was something wrong at the age of 5. So yes, you may feel there's something wrong. It may not be right with your spirit, and you feel like you don't have a choice. I get it. I used to be there. So I'm not saying disrespect your parents, but let them understand that this is not your thing. They might whoop your ass, but let them know how you feel respectfully. And always know in the back of your mind, when you're old enough, you will let that go too. Don't get indoctrinated. Don't get converted. Don't let them renature you and give you religion. Because all that stuff is man-made. All of it is man-made. Every single one of them. Because it wasn't there from inception. All that was there was from the spiritual realm, which is the mental realm. The thought came the manifestation of what it was able to make sense of when it became conscious, and it gave us the universe. And that was the first teacher. That was the first teacher. That is the first creator. So let's go back to it. All right? Again, this is Chief Kalanago. I love you guys. I hope you share the video, share the information. And remember, everything that you are claiming right now, man gave it to you. And that's what it was done to divide and conquer, to create separation. Okay, yes, we had our own little clans, but we respected each other's territories because that's something we learned from nature. That is something we learned from nature. If you look at the animals, what do? They have their own little spots. And the only way you see them get into any type of confrontation is when another animal comes into another's animal territory. It's the same thing we did because that's what we learned from them. We learned from them. They were our first teachers. So all it is about, family, it's about respecting each other's territory. Allow people to be who they are. Let go of the religions. But if that's what you choose, it's okay. But just know that it was given to you. It is not the truth. It became your truth because somebody else taught it to you. Nature is the truth. The heavenly bodies is the truth. Because it has always been there. Everything else came after. And it was taught to you. And not just taught to you. It was imposed upon you. It was bitten into you. Think about it. If your parents bit it into you, and their parents bit it into them, and their parents bit it into them, who you think bit it into them? Yes, that's right. The invaders, the slave masters. So all I'm just saying is go back to when you was a baby again. Think for yourself. Know that you came here fully loaded. You didn't come here a sinner. How could they teach you that? You came into a world that was contaminated. But you came here beautifully made. Beautifully made. I love you guys. And that's why I do what I do. Don't forget to support the GoFundMe because it keeps me doing what I do. My goal is to help you free your mind of all these indoctrinations, from all these religions. Go back to securing and protecting your most precious jewel, which is your thought, which is seated in your mind. Protect your mind. Peace, love, and light. Chief Kalanago, support the GoFundMe. Thank you.